I know that there's about 1 million park bag videos out there. However, we are Disney locals who come to the parks multiple times a week. So we're here to tell you the things you actually need in your park bag for 2025. Start out with probably the most important part, and that is the bag itself. Choosing the right park bag may be even more important than what is in your park bag, because you're going to be carrying this around all day long. You want to make sure that your bag is the most comfortable, because days on end, trust me, if you have a bag that's not comfy, your back is going to feel it. My tip and best rule of thumb is to have a bag that is as small as it can possibly be, but big enough that it still fits everything that you need. For us, we really like these Cotopaxi bags. These have been our main go-to park bag for the past year, and we really do enjoy these. They can fit everything that we need, and we have all of our camera equipment, so we have a little bit extra than the normal person, but it's still light and comfortable. I can deal with these in super hot, sweaty weather and cold weather like today. I can wear it for days on end, and I do enjoy these a lot. I also really appreciate that there are lots of pouches. So on this particular bag, you've got a zipper in the front, you've got the big zipper, and then inside there's a little bit of a pouch. Obviously, if you want a little bit more organization, you can always do like little pouches that you can put inside. And if you are considering something a little bit bigger, that is a-okay. You just want to think to yourself, like, I'm going to be wearing this for many hours a day for multiple days in a row. So make sure you're not bringing an oversized backpack, but make sure that it does fit everything that you need. If you happen to have a bag or a backpack or a fanny pack that you use on a daily basis that you know is comfortable, use that. You don't necessarily have to go out and buy anything super fancy, but if you are looking for something new, those are things you are going to want to look for. And if you are coming on a trip and you're planning on being in the parks all day, every day for several days in a row, it may not be a bad idea to have a few different bags. Maybe have a backpack that has 2 straps, have a fanny pack that has 1 strap, have a crossbody, have a few different options. That way you can kind of switch it up throughout the week, because sometimes being able to have that pressure point lay a little bit different on your back can make a world of difference.
Every park has a first aid center. So if there's something that you need that you don't have in your park bag, the first aid center or even the baby care center will probably have it. You can find all of these in the My Disney Experience app. Generally though, they're in the front portion of the park. The first aid center will have Band-Aids, medicine, anything like that. Obviously, if it's more of like an emergency, you can go there and they'll get you the medical attention that you need. But if you do have medication that requires refrigeration, you can also do that here. The baby care center is going to have diapers, wipes, formula. It's also a great quiet spot to calm your kiddos down if they're having a meltdown. You can also nurse in there. You can change your kiddos. All of that can be found in the baby care center. And now that we've covered that, let's go talk about the medical supplies that we actually carry in our park bag. For medicine, we always recommend to not bring the entire bottle. What we like to do is put just a variety of medicine within this little silicone thing. So I've got a little bit of ibuprofen, Tylenol, headache medicine, allergy medicine, and if you're old like us, some heartburn medicine. If you know, you know. And then obviously if you do have prescription medication that does require sorting, you can always get a pill divider, but this is just what works for us. One kind of medical supply that you may not think to bring is chapstick, but especially chapstick with SPF. Believe it or not, here in Florida, your lips can and will get sunburned, so this is a must. I cannot nearly emphasize enough how important a water bottle is. Even at the time of filming, it is currently like in the 40s. Water can make or break your trip. Believe us when we say that in the summertime especially, we have seen people pass out from dehydration. Bring this. If you take anything away from this video, bring a water bottle. And don't pay $5 in the parks for water. It's not worth it. I know every Disney YouTuber and influencer says that you can get free water at any quick service location. So if you don't want to carry this, just go to a quick service location and get free water. And Disney is getting a lot better about providing water refill stations in all of the parks. And now in the My Disney Experience app, you can even find all of those locations. And speaking of hydration, something that we always carry, especially in the summer months, is Liquid IV. This is an electrolyte supplement. This one happens to be sugar-free. They've started making a lot more sugar-free options. If you do start to feel the dehydration coming on, put one of these in your water bottle and you'll feel back to normal in about 15-20 minutes. We've also been learning that these have a dual purpose paired with a Goodies headache powder. If you are prone to headaches like I am, I put these two together and make myself a little mocktail, if you will. And usually this will knock my headache in about 15-20 minutes. And usually my headaches are because of dehydration, so it kind of goes well together, I guess. I'm not a medical professional, so do with that what you will, but this is what works for me. Band-Aids are a must. We really like these NextCare waterproof Band-Aids because in Florida it rains, you sweat, and the nice thing about these is that you don't constantly have to like put a new Band-Aid on. These stay on all day long, and sometimes with a little bit of a warning, they do stick a little too well sometimes. But along with these NextCare waterproof Band-Aids, we always carry a blister Band-Aid with us. If you're not familiar with a blister Band-Aid, they're basically just a little bit thicker, so that way they provide cushion for that sore blister. Hand sanitizer is another thing that a lot of people like to have in their park bag. We just go to the bathroom and wash our hands, so we typically don't carry it. But if you are someone that does like to use hand sanitizer, just make sure that you have that with you.
And don't worry, we will have links for everything that we mentioned in this video in the description box below. And if you want a free park bag checklist, you can also get that when you sign up for our newsletter. We ourselves do not have kids, but that doesn't mean that I don't have a few tips for you. The nice thing about when you do have a stroller is you do have a little extra space that if you have like jackets or some extra food or things like that that you want to throw in your stroller, you absolutely can. However, I have some very big caveats with that. Make sure that everything that you do put in your stroller is easy to take in and out. A, because when you ride Disney transportation, you do have to fold those strollers completely. So if you can take things out easily, that is going to be your friend. And B, it's never a good idea to leave items in your stroller when you go to ride the rides. You will have to park your stroller a lot of times to get on different attractions or in different shows. And I cannot tell you how many stories I've heard of people's things getting stolen out of their strollers. I know it's Disney and I know it's a magical place, but people are not always so magical, so don't leave your items in your stroller. And another kind of pro tip that if you do have some things that you're leaving, like a jacket or some non-valuables, have your rain cover always on your stroller when you leave it. It's helpful because you never know when a pop-up rainstorm may happen, but it also will help deter people from looking in your stroller and potentially taking things out of your stroller. For even more added security, I do recommend having a little air tag in your stroller, and I would also put these in your park bag too, just in case your stroller does happen to move around, which it might because cast members will move your strollers around, or if you happen to lose your bag, you'll be able to be reunited in no time. And I know a stroller isn't a park bag, but it is kind of an extension of your park bag, so it is important to kind of think about the stroller that you're getting because you're going to be using it throughout your entire trip. You can absolutely rent strollers from Disney, however they are the hard plastic, so I wouldn't say that they're the most comfortable. My favorite is to actually rent from Kingdom Strollers. I have had many clients in the past when I was a TA use them and love them. They will deliver directly to your hotel, and you can keep your stroller with you. You don't have to return it each night and pick it up each morning, making those early mornings and late nights when your kiddos are sleeping a lot easier. And it's great because during extra busy times of year, you don't have to worry about the Disney strollers selling out. If you do happen to lose something, don't worry. Disney has a fantastic lost and found program. All you need to do is head towards the front of the park, kind of where guest services is, and then you're going to find the lost and found location there. You'll let the cast members know what it is you lost, and they'll fill out a little report describing the item. And then once your item is found, they will notify you and let you know so that you can get it. If it happens to still be the same day, you can usually pick it up at Lost and Found in that park. If it happens to be the next day or a few days later, they'll usually send it to Disney Springs so that you can pick it up there. Or if you happen to already be home, they'll mail it to you. Don't worry. So I gotta be honest that when you are on a Disney vacation, you will probably be on your phone a lot between booking lightning lanes and doing mobile order, checking for wait times, and all the other things that you do on your phone during a Disney vacation. Your battery is gonna drain pretty fast. So one thing that I always have in my park bag, which I know we say a lot of things we always have, but this is like the number one thing I never leave home without, is my fuel rod. These are portable charging devices to use for your phone or camera or other electronic devices. But what makes these really unique is that you can swap them at one of the many stations around the Disney parks and resorts for a freshly charged one. So I'm somebody that is really bad about remembering to charge my portable devices, let alone my phone itself. So these are really nice that I don't ever have to worry about it. I just know that whenever this dies, I can go and swap for a freshly charged one. They do have fuel rods at other theme parks and airports and other locations around the States. Typically, you are going to pay around $1 to $3 for a swap for a fresh one. However, at the Disney parks and Disney resorts, they're totally free to swap, and you can swap unlimited amount of times. You do need to purchase your first fuel rod kit, which comes with your charger and the cord, and I do highly encourage purchasing that before your vacation because it's going to be a lot less expensive than buying it here in the parks. Typically, you can get 2 for almost the price of 1 on Amazon, so if you want the link for that, that is in the description box below. They recently even made some improvements to fuel rods, so they have 20% more charge, and they even have a little indicator light at the top so you can see exactly how much charge you have left. And do keep your eyes peeled because there are some new and exciting things coming to fuel rod in the future that I can't wait to share with you. There is an item that used to be a park bag necessity but isn't any longer, and that is pressed pennies. They do still have pressed penny machines all around Walt Disney World property. However, they don't actually take the pennies anymore. They've all changed to a card system, so you don't need to lug those around. They just have the copper blanks already in the machines. It is a little sad that, you don't have that nostalgia factor, but you still can get your pressed pennies. Just don't need to bring the pennies yourself. Now, obviously, you don't want to forget your wallet, but you especially want to make sure you have your Disney gift cards. There are some really good ways to save money using Disney gift cards, so if you want to learn more about that, the link is in the description box below. We also like to have a little something extra special in our wallet, and that is these cute little stickers. We made these for cast members, so anytime we have like a really good cast member interaction, we like to give out these stickers, but we do also have stickers for viewers, so if you ever see us in the parks, make sure to say hi, and we'll give you a sticker too. This is probably just girly things, but I know a lot of people like to wear their hair down and cute and curly and all that stuff, but I gotta be super real with you. In the summer, it does not last very long, so it's always a good idea to have a hair tie or clip in your bag so that when you're sweating, you can put your hair up.
If you can't tell by all the loud noises around me, theme parks are very loud, and that's where loop earplugs come in handy. We have the switch ones, so they have like 3 little settings where you can basically turn the volume up and down, and they're really nice because they just slip right in your ear. And if you need a moment of zen, you're all set for the day. For my fellow nerds, we must unite with lens wipes. Lens wipes are something that not a lot of people talk about in their park bag, but let's say you're riding a water ride and your sunglasses get wet and then they dry immediately after, they get all smudgy. If you're like me, that drives me absolutely insane. But maybe you're someone like us that likes to carry around your camera and get photographs. These are really nice to just wipe off any smudges. Even on your phone, don't forget to wipe off your phone camera before you take pictures. Carabiners are super cheap and also super handy for any park bag. I like to hang my water bottle on one, but let's say maybe you're using an umbrella and it rains, but you don't want to put that wet umbrella back in your park bag. Use a carabiner to just hang it somewhere on your person or on your bag itself. That way it can dry out and not get all your other stuff wet. These also come really in handy for merchandise as well. Let's say you get a lot of sweatshirts or shirts, whatever you want in a Disney shopping bag, but you don't want to carry it all day, clip it somewhere. On your person, on your bag, wherever. These you can hang anywhere.
I do always have my phone on my person, but it isn't always in my park bag. I have this handy dandy little strap. My phone is the Max, so it doesn't really fit in my pocket, and I use it too much to keep it in my bag. So this is the perfect solution for me. I have it easily accessible, it's secure, so when I have it on rides and things, I don't have to worry about losing it. And whenever I need to take a picture, boom, it's ready to go. So the way that it connects to my phone, there's this little tab thing that goes inside of the case, and then the loop and hook are just right there, kind of almost where your charging port is. I can still charge my phone with this, so it doesn't block that or anything, but it is very secure. Like I said, I've taken this on roller coasters and many, many, many other rides and attractions and theme parks, and this does the trick. If you do have little ones, an autograph book is definitely a necessity. If you love meeting characters, they do all sign their autographs. They do sell these really cute autograph books in the parks and the gift shops. They come in a whole bunch of different styles, and they have cute little pins that come with them. Both of these are actually new, and I really like these a lot. Remember, you can always buy cheaper ones online on Amazon ahead of time. However, I do love that they have these really big pins. These are fantastic for characters because when they have their big gloved hands, they make it just a little bit easier to hold. The bigger the pin, the marker, or whatever that you can have, those are going to definitely be a good one.
Pin trading is something that you may want to do while you're here on your vacation. If you're not familiar with what pin trading is, basically you can buy like a starter set, and then you can go to a pin board, and pin boards are located all over all 4 parks, as well as the resort hotels. And basically you can take that pin and trade it for one that's on that board, and you can keep going until you run out, and then you can buy more. The process is very addictive and endless, but you may want something to hold your pins like a bag or a lanyard. But we recently picked up this little pin board from GoPin Pro, and it's nice because you can display all your pins on it and you don't have to like wear anything around your neck. And then we just put ours back in our park bag when we're not wanting to trade. And if you want to learn more about pin trading, we did like a whole pin trading 101 video, so that will be linked in the description box below.
When dining at Disney, there are actually a few helpful things that you are going to want in your park bag, primarily being utensils. Now, yes, you can get utensils all around the parks. However, especially during things like festivals, sometimes they can run out, or you get to a table that you've been trying to scout out for 10 minutes and then you realize you forgot to get silverware. So it's nice to have some on hand so you don't even have to worry about it. There are lots of different kinds that you can get. My personal favorite are these plastic ones because you can fly with these a little bit easier. You don't have issues with TSA, and I like how easily this one folds up. You've got your fork, your knife, and your spoon. Super, super easy. But if you want something a little fancier, we also have like these little metal ones that still come with everything that you need. Wet wipes are another one that's good to have. These are, of course, great for if you have sticky hands in a pinch. But again, when you're eating at festivals or wandering around the parks, these can be nice to wipe off the table since they don't necessarily get cleaned all that often. I also wanted to say a big thank you to our friend Nadia for sponsoring this snack. If you want to sponsor a snack for a future video, there is a link in the description box below that you can go and do that. Oh, that's delightful.
Good soup?
Good soup. Good soup. Something you need to know about Disney is that they don't serve plastic straws. Everywhere is going to have paper straws. You might get lucky and they might have like the agave ones, but for the most part, they're going to be paper. And although this one's very cute, nobody likes a paper straw. So my recommendation is to bring your own reusable straw that you can use for all your fun little beverages. These ones are really nice because they kind of just like telescope collapse. And there you go. Also, thank you to our friend Katie for sponsoring this snack. And again, if you want to sponsor a snack, the link for that is in the description box below.
If you happen to be bringing snacks or lunch or maybe an extra jacket or layers to the park, but you don't necessarily want to carry them all day, lockers are a great option. All 4 parks do have lockers, and generally they're at the front of each park, except Epcot does have 2 sets of lockers, one at the front and then also one over an International Gateway. If you're coming from one of the Epcot resorts and you're coming in International Gateway and you're looking for those lockers, basically as soon as you scan in to the park, turn left and they're right there. Lockers do come in small, medium, and jumbo. Usually the smalls will fit like a backpack, the medium 2 backpacks, and jumbo 3 backpacks. Just to give you a little bit of a size reference, they're 10 for the smallest, 12 for the medium, and 15 for the jumbo. By the way, you can bring snacks, drinks, things like that into the parks. The only thing is that it can't be anything in a glass container, nothing that requires reheating because there's nowhere for you to reheat anything anyway, and nothing that would include loose ice, and no alcohol. You cannot, don't do that. That's a good way to get kicked out.
It's time to talk about the weather. At the time of filming, it is currently like the middle of January, so it is actually pretty chilly, and it does get pretty chilly. It was, like Mark Allen said earlier, it does get down into the 40s. So because of that, it is a really good idea to make sure you're packing warm clothing, and layers. Something that you will definitely notice about wintertime in Florida is that the mornings and evenings can get very, very chilly, but during the day when the sun's out, it can warm up quite a bit. It's always a good idea to have your jackets, and even on colder days, your hats and gloves, but then maybe think about wearing something like a t-shirt so that way when you do get warm during the day, you can take those layers off. Weather here can fluctuate quite a bit, so it's always good to make sure you're checking the weather app several times the week before your trip just to make sure that you have the appropriate clothing depending on when you're traveling.
It's no secret that it gets really, really hot in Orlando. Ironically, not today, but one thing we always have almost regardless is a sweat rag. I know it's really gross, but you sweat a lot and you're gonna also be taking a lot of photos. So it's nice to just go dab, dab, dab right before you get your picture. And this is just so small that it rolls up. We got this at REI. Honestly, you can use a washcloth or even take like a washcloth from your resort hotel, throw it in your park bag. Believe me, this will make your pictures look so much better. You'll also want some sort of fan when it's extremely hot. We've used pretty much every fan that you can think of that's on every Disney list out there. We've used the ones that plug into the bottom of your phone. We've used the neck fans. We've used like the little powered ones, but honestly, these are our favorites. They're super cheap. B, you can like fan like your entire body plus the person next to you. And did I mention that they're super cheap? We bought these on Amazon, but you can also find them in Japan and China in Epcot. If you need one of these in a pinch while you're in the park, that's a great spot to pick them up.
The not so fun part about the summer is the chafing. You are gonna sweat a lot and it is very humid and there's a lot of friction when you're walking. And I promise you, I've tried every product out there under the sun, but there's only one that really, really, truly works, and that is Monistat Chafing Relief Powder Gel. So this stuff is great. It comes out in like a gel and then it dries to almost like a powder. It just helps to reduce the friction, and I love that it is both preventative, but also if you do get the chafing, it does help to kind of relieve some of that so that it doesn't burn quite so bad.
Along with Kayla's Monistat, this is kind of like TMI when you're talking about the summer, but it's honestly all about survival. I use something called Dr. Squatch Ball Barrier Dry Lotion, and I'll just let you figure out what that is for. Again, it's all about survival in the summer. Sunglasses are also really important just because your eyes can get so tired from that relentless sun here in Florida. Trust us that they will save your eyes from being very tired on a long park day. Our favorites are Gooder. We have loads and loads of pairs of them, and the nice thing about those is that they're polarized and they're super cheap, like $25 a pair. They come in all sorts of different colors. And another reason we like Gooder is just they're fun. And speaking of that relentless Florida sun, sunscreen is an absolute must, especially if you're traveling from like a northern state down to Florida. The sun will still catch you by surprise. Trust us from experience on that one. Our favorite is Sunbum. We usually will carry like a little face stick and then put on like full sunscreen, especially if you're going to the water parks or the pool at your resort hotel. Make sure that you reapply. We know from personal experience that sun poisoning is a real thing. Yes, you can blister from sunburn and have to go to urgent care, and it's a whole thing. Do not ruin your trip that you spent thousands of dollars on that way. Reapply. I cannot drill this enough.
Speaking of crazy weather, it does rain pretty much all year round. Significantly more so in the summer, but even yesterday it did rain pretty much all day. So it's good to have your rain gear on pretty much any Disney trip. Now, obviously you can use whatever kind of rain gear that you prefer. We personally really like umbrellas, but you can also throw a little poncho in your bag because I know that those tend to fit a lot better. And these also work really great for things like water rides. But I personally really like umbrellas because they can serve a dual purpose. So not only are umbrellas going to save you from the rain, but they can protect you from the sun. So let's say that you're in Magic Kingdom getting ready for the parade and it's 1,000 degrees outside and the sun is beating down on you. You will thank me that you have an umbrella to save you. Speaking of dual purposes, one of my other things that I like to have in my bag, especially on super rainy days, is a Ziploc bag. Usually I bring like a big Ziploc bag because again, this can serve many purposes. Not only can you throw in things like your electronics or things that you don't want to get wet during the rain or on a wet ride, but you can also use it for things like storing snacks. If maybe you get a Rice Krispie treat and you only eat half of it, you can save the rest for later. Footwear is also super important to think about when you are traveling during rainy season. It can tend to flood a little bit during some of the heavier rainstorms, so you aren't going to be wanting to walk around in those puddles in your tennis shoes, so make sure you have some sandals. We prefer things like Chacos or Tivas. Those are really, really great because they dry super fast. And make sure you stay on the lookout because we are going to be doing a full video talking about all of our favorite theme park shoes, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out. We know that was a lot of items, and don't let that stress you out. Depending on the day, we'll have more or less of all of these items. It just kind of depends on what we're doing, what the weather is like, and kind of how long we're going to be in the parks.
Let us know down in the comments if we missed something that you think is a park bag essential. That way you can help others that may be watching this video as well.
And don't forget, if you want a free park bag checklist, you can find that linked in the description box below, as well as links to all of the products that we talked about in this video. Make sure you're subscribed for more helpful Disney planning tips, and that is all we have for you guys today. Now go create your ever after.